Namaskar, Adab, Shastrekal और Khushamadid. Very, very good evening to all of you people. This is your master teacher Harsh Priyam, who is going to talk about studying in Japan option. And this option, this video was very much demanded by you students only, and hence I have made a video on this. Now let me tell you, studying in Japan is a very lucrative option, because given the scenario, what government is actually giving here and whatever the government, the benefits what the government and the universities are giving here are truly splendid and outstanding. Now why am I telling this? Let me tell you the details so that you will understand it. So first of all, before starting the session, if you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly do that, because you'll get a lot of good and relevant and useful content on this channel. Okay, so here we go. First of all, the video credit goes to this boy Shiv Kumar. Vote for study in Japan with scholarship and other exams. There are more than 387 students who like this particular comment. So here we go. Japan, first of all, it's a country. It's a country in east of Asia. Now official language here is Japanese, no other language. So Japanese is the official language. It's a democratic constitutional monarchy country. So basically this is a democratic country, but here the monarch, the king, which used to rule earlier in Japan, they are still having some positions and they are mentioned in the constitution. So there are some powers with the monarch also, like the king also, but it's a democratic country having its constitution being run, the entire country being run by the constitution itself. Now the currency of Japan is yen. It is having a value of 0.56 rupees. 1 yen is half a rupee, something around that. But with this conversion, don't try to understand or don't interpret that Japan is a country which is not wealthier or not well off compared with India. It's not like that. It's only the valuation of the currency of Japan is not higher than Indian currency, but the wealth wise, the country is pretty on a higher side, on a better side compared to India. In fact, the entire GDP, the entire growth, or the entire country itself is on a very better prospect. Okay, now moving forward. So first, so Japan is somewhere around 6,000 kilometers from India. Now the flight from India takes somewhere around 7 hours to 8 hours to reach Japan, the capital being Tokyo. So this much time is required from India's capital Delhi to Tokyo. Okay, now first news which I want to cover is this. There is a news, this was covered in the Hindu. Japanese universities who woo Indian students with permanent residency offer after BTech, and it is happening. Means Japanese government is actually making a lot of new rules, new regulations, where they are trying to attract Indian students to population, because they are those people who can contribute to the economy of the country, to the GDP, and these 36% people are actually contributing to the country's GDP, and they are even supporting their 64% people, like the older generation, their parents, because they can't work and now they are completely dependent on their kids, on their son or daughters. So this is a very big problem, because this is called as declining population. And if any country comes into this vicious circle of declining population, now declining population means the existing workforce is pretty low. This existing workforce has a lot of pressure because of the older generations. They have to do the take care, and at the same time, this much population. So in Japan, people are so much pro towards working, so much dedicated towards work, that they mostly tend not to get married. So getting married in Japan is very rare. Very less number of people get married. So marriage is not very common, and if you won't get married, there is no point of getting kids. So even they don't reproduce. So reproduction rate, having kids, that percentage is also very low in Japan. So these two major factors, because that's the culture there. So because of this cultural problem, Japan is facing this big issue of population decline. Now any country cannot survive without population, because if there won't be any people, who would be working and who would be making the economy grow? And that's the problem what Japan is facing right now. Now here, India becomes the perfect partner, because in India, the biggest thing is that we have a lot of population but we don't have work. And there the biggest problem is that they have a lot of work but they don't have the population. So this is called a symbiosis. We can transfer human resource, they can transfer the work or the money, and then things can go in tandem. So this is why Japan is allowing a huge chunk of international migrants, international students particularly, because they want that students, if they will come at a very young age, tender age, they will come here, study here, then we will allow them visa, they will settle down here and they will understand our culture, because Japan is also a country where they are very particular about their culture. They don't want their culture to be vanished, or they don't want their culture to change, and hence they are calling students, they are not calling working professionals, they are calling students. And hence this another news source, it states that Japan would seek to accept 400,000, that's 4 lakh students by 2033. They are trying to admit 400,000 students. Can you just imagine that? So this is the current scenario of Japan, and hence Japan being one of the most favorite or the best destination for international studies right now. And given the scenario that Japan is one of the most advanced developed countries across all the developed countries, so hence going to Japan is again a very good and lucrative option. Now moving forward, sir, voice and video don't match problem. Okay. So Shaurya, can you just refresh the video, because there is okay, there is some lag from my side itself. Okay, but kindly just refresh. I hope things would be right. Chalo, moving forward. Moshi sir. Acha. Chalo, moving forward. Let's see the next part. So now if we move forward, content, what I'm going to cover in this video is, first of all, lifestyle. What's the lifestyle which I talked about briefly right now, and then what's the expenses there, studying in Japan, what's the option, then admission requirements, and then scholarships. Okay, so first of all, what's lifestyle there, how you can live in Japan. So first of all, the accommodation which is charged there is that there are two types of accommodation. First is this student dormitory, where most of the students do reside. Since Tokyo being the most populous country in the entire world, let me tell you, it's entire world. In the entire world, the most heavily populated city is Tokyo. So in Tokyo, around 15 to 16,000 rupees is the expenditure for a student to study to reside in a student dormitory. Now, if a student chooses that I have to live in a independent apartment, I have to take 1 BHK, 2 BHK, something of that sort. Now, then a student will have to shed somewhere around 17,000 rupees to 33,000. Now, the 17,000 rupees would be charged if you are residing on an outskirt of Tokyo, like in a rural area, something of that sort. But Tokyo being a very big country, it's not practically very much possible that if your college is in Tokyo main city, you would not be able to reside in a countryside. Then you'll have to take an apartment in the main city itself, and there in the main city, living in an apartment is very costly there, because it's somewhere around costs 35,000 for a kind of 1 BHK premises. Okay, so this is the scenario of living in Tokyo. Tokyo is often compared with Mumbai and even higher than Mumbai. Okay, now moving forward, next is you can work in Japan. Part-time working is allowed. Now, when I say part-time working is allowed, now the important part, that what's the payout and how much you can work there. So, 67% of privately financed international students in Japan engage in part-time work. The average monthly earnings from such works approximately is 60,000 yen, 421 US dollar, which is somewhere around 33,000. But having said that, now you might be thinking that, sir, this much amount would be invested totally for the living purpose only, then how would we fund our studies, and how are we going to manage our supplies and bills and everything? So don't get worried with this. Let me show you something more. Next is, now this is a data. Again, the data source, all the source I have taken from this website only. Now data source says that hourly wages and how many percentage of international students do earn this much. So hourly wages less than 800 yen, which is less than 448 rupees per hour. Only 1.5% people do earn this. Okay. Now moving forward, the maximum is 49%. The maximum population is earning this much, which is 672 rupees per hour, 1200 yen. Now, if I convert this to monthly and to yearly wages, it comes down 75,000 rupees per month is what maximum number of people in Japan are earning. 75,000. So, if I take not the average but the median salary, which is the more accurate way of measuring it up, it's around 75,000 rupees per month, which you would be able to earn in Japan working on a part-time basis. I hope you understand that. Now 75,000 rupees is a good amount because your house expense, even if you take a private apartment, that's somewhere around 35,000. Remaining 40,000 would be utilized for your expenses like food, phone bill, internet bill, something of that sort, and then the studies expenses also. Studies expenses luckily is not so high in Japan. Now, next thing, and also within 28 hours a week up to 8 hours a day during long school holidays. So this much time is allowed in Japan, so you can work for this much time. Now studying in Japan, how much does this cost? So here, studying in Japan is basically, there are two options. You can either go to universities where the normal degrees undergraduate program happen. Here you can take BTech degree, BE degree, kind of those degrees do come. But there is one more type of colleges in Japan, that is called as junior colleges. Now these junior colleges do give degrees of 2 years to 3 years. Just like in India, we do have BSc colleges which give 3 years of degree, BSc, BCA, those type of colleges. So junior colleges are also there. They also give degree in engineering. So unlike India, in India, if there is any 3-year degree, it would be primarily BCA, BSc, something of that sort. In India, people can't have engineering degree in 3 years. But here you can have engineering degree, but that degree would be called associate degree, but not an undergraduate degree. So that's the difference. On that certificate, on your mark sheet, it would be written that you have completed this degree in 2 years or 3 years, whichever you choose. So there comes the main role, and that is called as associated degree. But in both the cases, you would be taught the same thing. So here you can more or less assume it's something of kind of ITI or BSc or BS, something of that degree. But so the most common thing is undergraduate, go for a BTech degree, because if you are going out of India, why to settle for something less? Now moving forward, it is of a 4 years degree. 6 years for medical, dental, just like the Indian scenario, 6 years for medical, dental, all such things. University graduate are awarded a bachelor's degree. So here it would be called as bachelor's degree. Now moving forward, what's the tuition fees? So tuition fees is around 4.5 lakh rupees for national universities, means those colleges which are run by government, and 5.2 lakh rupees for public universities, again kind of state government, something of that sort, you can understand, and 6.2 lakh rupees for private colleges. This is the rate which is and let me tell you, this is approximate rate. So if you get admitted to this if national university is best, even if you don't get admitted to national, you can go to public universities, and in public universities is 5.2. but even if you don't go there, 6.2 is the private. Means what I'm trying to say, there is not much a difference between national, public and private university. Just like in India, in national universities or like IITs, we do have a fees of around 2.5 lakh rupees per year. But as you go to private colleges, the fees is almost double, 5 lakh rupees per year, 6 lakh rupees per year. So that's not the scenario here. That's the first part. Second, now how would you be able to cover this much? Because obviously you're not earning this much. So first thing, I have to said you that you would be earning 75,000 rupees per month as a working part-time guy. So 75,000 12, that gives a 9 lakh rupees. Now 9 lakh rupees you would be earning. You would be spending, now I am assuming that you would not be spending that much amount in staying, because staying in a 35,000 rupees 1 BHK apartment is a luxury. Only those people who do have a lot of money can actually bear that. So now if I assume that you would be staying in student dormitory or apartment, you would be charged somewhere around 20,000 maximum. And if I take like your supplies and everything, it would come max to max 25,000 or 30,000, not more than that. So if I take that 25 to 30,000, now just assume that even if I take 25,000 or 30,000, it would be coming 3.6 lakh rupees per year, including your fooding, lodging and your supplies and all your bills. 3.6 lakhs minus with this 9 lakh, it would be coming around 5.4 lakhs. Now 5.4 lakh would be very easily covered in a public university. Now even if you go for a private university, it would be 6.2 lakh, but the difference is not that great. Like difference is 1 lakh rupees per year. I hope 1 lakh rupees per year is very easily can be even covered by the families or the student themselves. And also given that fact that it's not the fact that you would be earning only this 75,000 only. If you are a kind of meritorious student or an intelligent one, you can even go for 87,000, probably even higher than that. Okay. But even if I take all such basic and average kind of thing, you would be very easily able to fund your entire education on your own. only with a like kind of 1 lakh rupees per year would be required from your families, from your family. That much support would be required, not more than that. So studying in Japan is not that much tough or not that much unaffordable kind of thing. Okay, this is the first part. Second, here tuition fees 3 lakh rupees, the universities of Tokyo, student category admission fees. So tuition fees is 3 lakh rupees per annum. This what I was trying to say. So even the University of Tokyo, there are colleges which are lesser than this. So this is an average. You might even find a university or a college which is charging very less compared to the national average. So that is also very much possible. Clear? Now moving forward, what are the admission requirements? Now admission requirement, first of all, application form from the designated university. You will get it on their website. High school transcript, which is required in every college in every country. High school transcript is basically the entire log of your results, whatever you have scored in your class 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and then that should be verified. So that's called a check. So what I was trying to say, that this is basically a problem, like learning Japanese and then going to a Japanese country, because again, learning a new language might not be so fun for a lot of students or for a lot of applicants. So what Japanese government has done, they have done that it's not compulsory for international students to pass the Japanese language proficiency test, because they know that this will be a problem. To study in university, bachelor's degree, programs taught entirely in English. What they have done, that they have changed their culture itself. They have changed the universities and they have said that in universities, now the entire curriculum would be delivered in English itself. Although all the colleges are not changed accordingly, but there are a lot of colleges that government is trying to change, and now their entire mode of instruction is becoming English. So you can even find the list of those colleges who deliver their lectures or their entire studies in English only. You can find that entire list of colleges in the description box. Okay, so this Japanese government has done a very commendable thing, because they were also knowing that because of this problem, people have to learn Japanese. People would not want to come to Japan, and that was the main reason why a lot of people would never want to migrate to Japan. Okay. Now moving forward, English proficiency. So obviously if they are teaching in English, they would be needing an English proficiency test. So for that, as like what most of the countries do require, that you have to either qualify TOEFL or IELTS. So TOEFL, out of the band is 0 to 120. Out of 120, you have to score somewhere around 70 to 80. In IELTS, the band is of 9. So out of 9, you have to score somewhere around 5.5 to 6. That's the requirement. Moving forward, then you have to pass a test, an examination which is called Examination for Japanese University Admission, EJU, Examination for Japanese University Admission, for the international students. Now, a total of 479 Japanese universities, over 60% of all such universities in Japan. So, out of all universities in Japan, there are 480, which is 60% of the total universities in Japan, including most national universities, require submission of EJU scores as part of their application procedure. Means this one examination can actually give you a ticket or a gateway % of the universities of Japan, which is a great number. So you must go for this EJU examination. 479 universities would be open for you. Now moving forward, EJU encompasses 4 subject tests. In this EJU, you will have to take 4 tests, which Japanese as a foreign language. So Japanese as a foreign language, you'll have to give this test. Second, science. This test covers physics, chemistry and biology. Next is, third is Japan and the world, like some general knowledge kind of thing. And fourth is mathematics. So they take mathematics as a separate thing, and then this physics, chemistry, biology as a science thing, just like your class 10th. Now applicants can choose which subject test to take based on the requirements of the university they wish to enter. So some of the universities might be asking only for mathematics, like you have chosen a mathematics degree. So some of the universities might be asking only for science, or only for a Japan and the world. Like depending on the university, you can actually choose the subject, that which subject you have to take the test for. Now what about the scholarship, because this was the main point. So what about the scholarship? There is a scholarship which Japanese government is itself running, Japanese government MEXT scholarship. Now in this Japanese government MEXT scholarship, what happens? Selection is Japanese embassy recommendation, university recommendation. So either university can recommend it, or the Japanese embassy in every country can recommend for it. So if you get recommended by the Japanese embassy in India, then you are into the program. Now what happens? Duration is of 5 years. 1 plus 4, because first year is actually used to teach you Japanese language. So first year they actually take to teach you the entire Japanese language, and 1 year is very sufficient to learn Japanese. So they will be utilizing 1 year for teaching you Japanese so that you can pass all the examinations. And next is 7 years for medicine, again 1 year for teaching you Japanese and 6 years for the course. Thereafter the scholarship amount is 17,000 yen per month. Per month means 65,000 rupees per month the government would be giving you to study there, because they also understand that living expense in Japan and at the same time education expense is not very on a lower side, and any student who is a meritorious student would not be willing to shed so much money just to study in a foreign country. That is why they are giving you this incentive that I will give you 65,000 rupees per month, come to my country, study in my country. Okay, so now I guess you would have understood that earlier the earning potential there by working part-time was 75,000 per month. Government is giving you 65,000 per month, means 1.4 lakh rupees per month, means annually you would be able to make somewhere around 14 lakh rupees. In 14 lakh rupees, even if you go for the highest private college, kind of the expensive one, so you will be spending somewhere around 6 to 7 lakh or to even 8 lakh. Still 6 lakh rupees is remaining with you, means in a 50,000 rupees per month budget you can live there very in a luxurious manner. Okay, so this is what the government is doing for the students. Next is tuition fees exempted. So if you get admitted to this scholarship, your tuition fees gets exempted, and this entire amount you can spend on yourself, your living expense, your food expense. And then travel allowance, round trip travel expenses, airfare provided from your home country. So this is again a great thing. So if you get covered in this MEXT scholarship, that's a wow thing. Okay, now moving forward, you must be at least 17 years and between 17 to 25 and have completed 12 years of education. Like you should have completed your class 12 from India, and then qualified examinations for Japanese university, that is EJU. You have to get qualified with EJU examination. Okay, now Embassy of Japan in India. So basically undergraduate level with this 12 and April to May. So application period starts from April to May after your JEE mains. Like once mains is over, this examination will start, and you can apply on this website emb-japan-go-jp, means this is a government website /education/Japanese government. Okay, so this is the official website where you have to apply on the Embassy of Japan website in India. Okay, next is scholarship through EJU. Like say for example, if you don't get covered in MEXT scholarship, this government scholarship. So say for example, you don't get covered or you don't get the scholarship here, then what? So there are other scholarships also. Now through EJU examination, the examination that you have taken, through this, student who achieve exceptionally high scores in the EJU will be selected. Scholarship benefits 48,000 yen per month. I don't know why they have not. So if this gets converted, this comes somewhere around 25,000 rupees. Yeah, 26,000 rupees per month. Payment period 1 year. Application method: when applying for the EJU, indicate your interest in applying for the scholarship also. Like when you are applying for the EJU examination, just there click on that I am interested for the scholarship also. If you will be qualified, they would be giving you scholarship based on your examination marks also. Okay. Next is there are many other examinations also, many other scholarship examinations which you can actually take, and by that you can get your expenses covered. So what I'm trying to say, that is the reason why most of the students and most of the people right now are willing to go to Japan. Japan is incentivizing students to come to their country and study there. Okay, so Kitami City scholarship for foreign students, Yamagata prefectural scholarship for privately financed foreign students, Iwate prefecture's scholarship, Kurashiki city financial aid for privately financed students, and there are so many scholarships. So for more scholarship and details, check out the link in the description. Okay, I've put a link in the description, you can check out from there. Now moving forward, so ladies and gentlemen, that was all for this session. I hope you loved and enjoyed it. If that is the case, do let me know by writing it down in the comment box, and also write down in the comment box that if you need any other session based on the country, like if you want me to cover. So a lot of students were saying me to cover Australia also, because they want to go to Australia probably all. So if you want Australia or any other particular university you want me to cover, you can write down in the comment box. I would be happy covering it. And how much did you like this video? Any other feedback? That would be happily appreciated. That was all for this session. See you all in the next session. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Good night.